What is up, guys, and welcome back to PCSN. My name is Devin Meyer, and today I'm going to be doing a player interview by myself with one other person, Hope Musso.
Hi.
Hi, Hope. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing all right. I'm excited. I feel like I'm going to learn a lot during this interview since I don't know much about cross country. So I'm just going to kind of rely on you to inform me on that. But real quick, before we get started, I have a little gift for you.
Oh, thank you.
So there's that, if you want to show the people. Yay. All right. Yeah. I mean, do you want to just get us started and talk about what cross country is and like how it works, I guess? Because I have no clue. Like, what does a cross country meet look like?
Yeah, of course. So cross country in general, obviously you run. But how do you start that? Meets in particular, those look like there's a bunch of teams ranging anywhere from like 12 to like 50 plus teams. And basically you have however X amount of runners.
Right.
And there's open races. Open just means like there's no JV or varsity. It's just everybody runs at the same time. It just split up into boys and girls. And then there are certain meets that do have JV and varsity. Other than that, you just run and you run 3.1 miles, which is a 5K.
Every time?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait,
where do you do them though? Like on the side of the road?
No. A lot of times it's in like parks.
Okay.
Around schools. It's like in the most random locations. We did one at the Royal Gorge the other day, and we basically cool. We started in the parking lot, ran up the mountain/hill on a road that like leads down to the Royal Gorge, and then you run across the Royal Gorge. So that was really cool. But majority of the times it's like parks, schools, around the school, whatever that looks like. So yeah. But you basically run your 5K, and then you're good after that. A lot of times, like, we stay and watch, like, the boys run, or the boys stay to watch us run or whatever, but...
Right. It's broken up into boys and girls?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's really weird.
Really?
Yeah, because, like, okay, when, like, boys swim and, like, girls swim...
Yeah.
It's different seasons.
Yeah, that's
But for this, it's the same season, and... Well, I guess that kind of makes sense to, like, track, yeah.
Yeah. It just... Yeah.
But why are... Okay. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. Practices... It's every day after school, and then we normally practice on Friday.
How do you practice? Just
so
run?
We have a variety of workouts. They include like road runs. So we can do like shorter distances at like a higher speed. Basically like a 5K at race pace, or a lot of times we call it grandma's run. We build up to that throughout the season, but it's about a 6.25 mile run. And we
so it's like two 5Ks.
Yeah, basically. And we basically, you're not really focusing on speed or anything. You're just getting endurance and just working on getting the miles under your feet and stuff like that. So those are like road runs that we do. And then most of our speed work comes from the track. So we just do track workouts, sprinting drills, stuff like that. And then a lot of the times, which is everybody's least favorite workout, it's on the grass. And it's just because we run. Oh, golf course is another really common place that we run. But we run through golf courses, and the grass is like such a different terrain to run on, and like it kind of drains you. So you have to get used to running on it. So we just do a lot of workouts on the grass.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing cross country?
I started running in 6th grade at PV.
What?
Yeah.
So you've been doing this for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a PR?
My PR as of right now is, so in middle school, you actually run 2 miles. In high school, you run a 5K. But in high school, my PR so far is from last year, and I believe it was a 22:13.
What does that mean?
22 minutes and 13 seconds. Right now.
For a whole...
3 miles. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And then,
that's impressive.
Yeah. And right now, not at the last meet, it was at Coronado. I ran, I believe it was like a 22:47. So I'm getting closer.
You're getting closer to breaking that PR.
Yeah.
That's good. How many how many runners are on the team?
Right now I'm pretty sure there's like about 20, 18 to
20?
20. Yeah, so not very many. And this year has been like,
That's low.
yeah. Well,
Oh, because it's broken up into boys and girls.
yeah, but it's 20 like total runners right now. But I mean, it's hard to like convince kids to run.
That much.
Yeah. There's not like a good way to do it. So really anybody that does it there are people that have been running or are trying to like condition for other sports or stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
You were able to convince someone though. Wyatt Ferris
was.
is one that I wanted to talk about. You convinced him to drop football for this. How did that look like? Did you convince him or did he just kind of choose to do it? What happened there?
Honestly, I think that was more up to him. It was a thing last track season. We were at a meet at Pubba West.
Right.
And my brother was talking to him, who's the coach, sorry. And we just kind of were talking about cross country, and I was actually trying to convince Zora Malone to do cross country.
Did it work?
So, yes, until it didn't.
Oh, she quit?
She didn't quit. It was like she was in the band, and we were getting like messages about doing preseason practices. And she was like, hey, I kind of changed my mind. Sorry. And I was like, oh, okay. So, but in terms of Wyatt, he basically just kind of overheard me trying to convince other girls to do it because I lost a lot of seniors that graduated last year.
Right.
And my brother eventually asked him if he was thinking about doing it, and he actually said yes. And I think a big reason was that his younger brother, Josie Ferris, is also running on the team.
Oh.
And so I think Josie wanted to run, and Wyatt, that was like a deciding factor for sure.
Yeah, I get that. That makes sense. And he's doing pretty good is what I hear.
He's doing really good. It's his first year, obviously. So, I mean, he's been running for forever, so it's not like a new thing to him, but distance is definitely newer.
Right.
But yeah, he's getting like 18:10s. And for reference, like Ethan Conrad, who was really good as well.
Didn't he go to state for?
He did, and he went to state last year. Or wait,
Sheesh.
was that last year?
No, I think it was
2 years ago.
his sophomore year, or our sophomore year.
Yeah.
So 2 years ago, and then didn't he get like a scholarship for it too?
Yeah.
Or was that for track?
I think it's for cross country he's running, and I believe like it's like a big city. It's like New York or New Jersey or somewhere like that.
Yeah, and it also helped that he was a little bit of a genius.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, so what were you saying about why it's 18:10?
Oh, I mean, Ethan was right about the same time, and that's when he made it to state. So he's doing really good.
Do you think that you're gonna make it to state this year?
It's a
I
good
heard you
question.
came up a little bit short last year.
Yeah, last year I was at regionals. That's where you basically find out if you're going to make it to state or not. So they take, I believe it's top 3 teams at regionals. They just take that whole team and you bring your 5 best runners, girls and boys. And then they also take top 15 individual runners, and I placed 20th. So I was 5 short.
Dang.
But the hard part is like everybody gets better every year also. So,
right.
I mean, if I get better,
you got to get better.
Yeah.
Are there any other schools in Pueblo that do cross country? Do you know?
Yeah. I think all of them do.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Have
West
you had to
is
race?
Definitely like.
Have you had to race any of them?
Yes, they're not at as many meets as you would think. We kind of
Really?
split up and stuff like that, but yeah, it's mostly because there's not a lot of meets like in town besides city and regionals. So
how does like scoring work for cross country? Like because I have no clue. Is it just like whoever finishes the fastest? Is that it?
I mean, for individual results, yes. Like if you're looking at it like for yourself, then yes. But in terms of teams, if I were to finish 3rd place, then I have 3 points.
Okay.
And then so each runner has like a certain amount of points, and all those points get added up. And basically the team with the lowest score is the team that wins, and that's how they rank that. So
all right. And then what does like the culture on the team look like in terms of just like, you talked about how it was a sport that is good for conditioning for other sports? Is there a lot of like athletes on the team, or is it like kids that just run cross country? What's that like? What does that look like along with the culture on the team?
I think like it's kind of everybody. Like there's a lot of people that come out for cross country because their parents make them do a sport, and that's
Right.
the sport that they chose. There are a lot of athletes that condition for like swimming. We have Brett Messes. She's conditioning for swimming right now. There is a winter track like thing that Pueblo West runs. And so there's a couple girls on the team that are currently like running cross country to get in shape for winter season of track. And then obviously like people that just enjoy to run, or
Right.
like me, I've just always ran. So it's just what I do. But
Do you do that what is that winter track thing called?
I don't. It's called sorry, excuse me. It's
You're good.
called shoot. I'm forgetting the name.
You forgot the name?
Yeah.
It's okay.
Delaney Spaghetti runs it. If you ask her,
Oh.
she'll.
You don't though?
No, I don't. It's for everybody, but I just don't.
I thought you liked running. I thought you were dedicated.
I do, but I like to have an off season. I think
Okay, I
running
guess so.
definitely is like a demanding sport and like mentally straining.
Yes.
And so it's nice to like have a little bit of a break before track.
Yeah, I can't even hit a treadmill without like having to like hype myself up before it. And even then I'm like off after a mile.
Treadmills are terrible. Like I refuse to run on a treadmill.
Really?
Yeah.
You'd rather just like run outside
Yeah.
in like
Anywhere.
Wow.
Just not
See,
a treadmill.
I'm more of a treadmill type of guy.
Wow.
See, I like that, I don't have to go very far. I'm at my destination. What else? I could set my pace. I don't feel like I'm having to force myself, and I also don't have to worry about either running in 90-degree weather or 30-degree weather.
Very true. Definitely like a factor during cross country that makes it like one more thing that adds to like what sucks, especially at the beginning of the season, because like first day of practice on like the first day of school, it's always like 98 to 100 degrees.
Dude, even towards the end of like track season, right? It's got to be.
I mean, it gets hotter and it like feels really hot during track season, and we're always like, oh my gosh, this is so hot. But realistically, It's only like 80.
Yeah.
So.
Do you prefer cross country over track?
Tough question. I think like culture wise, which I guess I didn't really answer that question. Culture wise, yes. In like a competitive way, not as much, because I feel like with track, I run like a 400 4x4, or my main event is an 800.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like I know like exactly what time I'm going for. It's a little bit like of a narrower thing, And
then do you want to talk about the culture real quick?
Yeah, sure. Cross country is kind of weird. We get like a lot of random people, like I was mentioning, like all the different types of people that come out.
Right.
Like before meets, if there's a playground at the school, we're gonna go on the playground. But with that being said, like I feel like we're all really like supportive of each other.
Right.
And I don't know, like we don't know each other that well, but we all cheer for each other and everything like that. So it's supportive but fun and kind of like goofy.
That's good. That's good that you guys are all like kind of different, but all like meshed together and are able to use cross country to like bring you guys together,
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Who's like the fastest on the team right now, and like definitely is like probably going to state or like gonna do really well at regionals? Do you know?
For girls, I'm the fastest for girls.
Right.
Coming in next would be, her name's Ella Gonzalez. She's a sophomore. But she is about like typically 2 minutes behind me.
Right.
And then for boys, Wyatt, obviously, and he's probably going to state.
Yeah.
And then behind him is Richard Sagona, and he's the best person ever. He's such a good runner, and I think he's a junior. I'm pretty sure, but yeah, he's a beast, and
really?
So much respect for him. But he always comes like just short of state.
This year's got to be his year then. Hopefully.
I think next year.
You think
his
next
senior
year?
year? I think
he's coming up short again this year.
I don't like to say coming up short because it makes him sound like somewhat of a failure.
Right.
But it's just there's always like one guy that like comes in and is randomly like so fast. Like Wyatt just came in and he's just like
Oh, are
so
you only
fast.
allowed to send one person from each team to state?
No, it's just whoever makes it. But
Oh, okay. So there's a chance Wyatt and Richard both go.
yeah, individually.
Hopefully.
Like the teams for county, like we normally aren't good enough to make it as a team at regionals, but individually, like we could definitely place.
Okay. Wait, so I'm a little confused then.
So
there's a team state and then there's
no. So if your team at regionals, if you place top 3 as a team,
right.
So like if county, South, and Centennial are 1, 2, and 3 at regionals as a team, then those 3 teams will go to
everybody on them.
Yeah. Just for like
Okay.
boys. If it was boys, it's still split up into like
Yeah,
boys
yeah.
and girls. But and then on top of that, on top of like how the teams place, it's top 15 individual runners.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, that's very different compared to like how other sports do that. Wow.
Yeah, for sure.
What was I gonna say? What is a state meet any different than like a regular cross country meet? Or is it same distance? It's the same distance?
It's the same distance. The only thing that I'll say, they have it at the same place every year, and it's at Norris Penrose Event Center. And it's normally like our first or second meet, but we didn't run it this year because it was on the same day as the State Fair Parade.
Right.
And everyone was busy that day, so we just decided to switch it up. But there are so many hills in that race, it's insane. Like, it's literally just like this the whole entire time. Like, it's miserable. A lot of times at state, it's pretty hot, or like the first time you run it, it's really hot, but then at state, it's really cold.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is getting around. When is state?
Shoot.
How close is that? And along with regionals too.
It's like at the very end of October. It's like October 31st or like very end of October.
Right.
Regionals is like a week or two, like last week or 2 of October.
Okay. So that you got that coming up.
Yeah.
What are you doing to prepare for that?
Just being
extra
consistent.
or just
Not really. Right now we just take every week, like week by week. So depending on the meet that's coming up, if we know there's going to be a hill at that meet, then we'll train for hills that week. If we know that like it's a fully grass course, then we know we have to do a grass workout that week. And that's just kind of how it works. But yeah, actually this week we have an off week. So we kind of have like a harder week just to get in shape. And then next week we'll prepare for the meet on Friday, I think.
in our magical headphones, Manny just asked a really good question. I'm going to try to repeat it for those of you guys watching. So what like form and practices that like outside of, simply just going to track practices, doing the grass workouts and whatnot, like water, does water weight affect it? What else did you ask, Manny?
I think I got the question.
Okay.
If you just, so like at home, I would definitely, because cross country is in the fall, if you want to be successful, you have to do summer workouts on your own. And so just getting in shape, running a couple times a week, it doesn't have to be like actual workouts. You can just go out and run just to like get started. Other than that, food, you definitely need to be eating decent. It's not like life-changing, but I mean, the biggest thing I would say is like the day before meet, like you really want to get some carbs in. So a lot of people have pasta the night before.
Really?
Yeah, it just gives you energy, stuff like that. But carbs, good snacks, and then the day of the meet, like if you have a morning race, I know so many runners that like have such picky stomachs, including myself. Like I can't eat something like too dry, like toast, because then it just like, I can't. But if it's too liquidy, then it will just come right back up. Like it just won't end well.
Right.
So you need to find something that like works for you.
Do you have like a pre-race meal?
In the mornings, typically oatmeal.
Right.
It's just kind of easy on the stomach. And then I take like energy chews like 20 minutes before I run. I mostly take those if the meet is later in the day because I just feel kind of drained, especially if we had school that day.
Right.
I just feel like I'm drained from school and then I have to go out in the heat and run a meet.
Are you guys allowed to have like water with you when you race? Or like how does that work?
We don't. I wish they would have like water stands in the middle of the race because I know like if you do races that aren't like for cross country, if you do them like
if you just run a 5K.
Yeah, like if you sign up to do a 5K outside of school, they'll almost always have like water stations, but they don't do that in cross country, and I don't know why. But they have them at the end of the race. So
wow, so you're just like out there, and I mean, I guess it's only like 30 minutes, but those 30 minutes probably feel long.
Yeah, your mouth definitely gets dry, but kind of sucks.
How do you like stay locked in like just 30 minutes running? You're not allowed music, are you?
No.
What? That seems cheap. I feel like you should be allowed to have your AirPods.
I feel like it's just like any other sport. Like you just kind of focus on what you're doing, and I have a watch, so I look at my watch every now and then and just see like what my pace is. It shows me like my mile pace, so I could see like I could break it down to see what that's looking like for overall time.
Right.
To see distance, I'm a big distance person. Like I know if I've ran a mile, I'm like, oh, I only have 2 miles left.
Right.
Or if I'm on the last mile, I'm like, this is so easy. I just have 1 mile left.
Right.
So I definitely think about that. But most of all, I would say like, at least for me, I think everybody thinks about different things. But I just, I'm like, oh, I'm going to pass this person. Like I know I can pass this person.
Right.
Or cross country runners are honestly ruthless. And like
Do you guys trash talk?
I don't know. It depends on the situation. No, not in that way, but like some like people will literally like run and like try to like cut you off so that you won't pass them. And if they do that, like I'll be like, why are you doing that? Like, and I'll just push them out of the way. Like
that's funny.
I don't know, especially at the start.
That's
because like the starts are kind of interesting to watch. I think they post those on Max Preps sometimes, or I think it's Max Preps.
Right.
If you look up and you like go to a athlete's profile,
that's funny.
It'll like show a video of the start. And it's just like, it's a mess.
Just people like scrambling. Do you like start out fast or do you like start out jogging or?
Yeah, you start out fast. I wouldn't say like, you're not doing like a 100-meter sprint pace.
Right.
But like you want to get out strong. You know, like you want to set your position. And about like a quarter to a half a mile in, you'll probably settle into like what's going to be the rest of your race.
Okay. I don't really have any other questions for you. If there's anything else you want to add on, go ahead and tack it on towards the end.
Yeah, cross country is a hard sport. I think like the mental aspect of it is, I don't know, like worth talking about, I guess, because to say like to get up and go to school in the morning and then have cross country practice after school
sounds miserable.
Yeah, knowing you're gonna
I'm not mentally
run
strong enough.
Like knowing you're gonna run and like do something that most sports use as punishment. It's just kind of interesting. Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll tune in. Or do you think I would be able to show up and just do a practice with you guys?
I mean, I think you could.
Do you think your coach
you would
be
hate
like
it and like not do well? like you might throw up. You know,
I might throw up.
Yeah.
What if I don't eat anything?
It's probably not any better.
All right. Well,
that's miserable.
Well, that's all from us folks at PCSN. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the video. If you are an athlete and you want to be on the podcast, DM us on Instagram. Share the video. It promotes our athletes. I'm not sure if Hope wants to run in college or not, but if she did, you share the video. It gets more traction, and then boom, schools are looking at her. I'm Devin Meyer, and I was joined by Hope Musso, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. Right.